Oh, what time is it? You can see that from the French Institute of Weights and Measures, it's just gone 11:05, 37 seconds. And I'm just having some Tesco's Wild Rocket, and oh, it comes from, you can see it's from, can you make that out? It says Italy. So my rocket has more Aeroplan miles than me recently, and every kilocalorie of this I eat, it takes about 10 kilocalories of hydrocarbons to produce it. And here's the big paradox. Norman Borgai, a modern father of agriculture, over the space of 3 years, Mexico in the 60s, Pakistan and India became net exporters of wheat because of his high yield varieties and modern agriculture techniques. And what that implies is combine harvesters and mechanical equipment. So it's a win-win for the US. They sell their cat and their deer and whatever manufacturers around the world. We make loads of wheat. Oh, it's bread. We want to look at the global bread production. The world lives on bread. How many hundreds of thousands of tons does the world produce of bread? It's got to be hundreds of thousands of tons of bread that the world, basically, plants, the world gets hit roughly with like 1,300 kilojoules per cubic meter of the sun's energy. Plants are 99.99% efficient at capturing the sun's energy because of quantum computation. So photosynthesis, it evolved, 3.5 billion years ago? And, you can, what happens, the photon hits the macromolecule of chlorophyll, and it's got to travel through the bifurcations, the topology of the protein to get to the reaction center. It does that instantaneously because without boring you on the quantum computation, it basically doesn't solve the problem in a linear manner. It solves in a parallel process, all possible solutions all at the same time, and it's been proven. So currently, Rubisco is the main enzyme. So Rubisco is the most abundant protein on the planet. It is basically the main enzyme for carbon fixation. It basically turns, it carboxylates ribulose 1,5 biphosphate. Basically puts together the carbon dioxide with the double ketone molecule to make a sugar. I gotta read more of the biochemistry. So, modern solar panels, be it nanotech or whatever, the most efficient solar panel is roughly 30% efficient, but nano solar has technology. Basically what I'm getting at is because of Norman Borgai's modern techniques of agriculture, and because we all live on this hydrocarbon economy, and because the world population clock now is 7.076 billion, and because all the oil was produced in a relatively short geological period, when we hit peak oil, everything is based on carbon. You can see if oil production dropped, say, 75-80%, let's say oil dropped from 80 million barrels a day down to, say, 15 million barrels a day over the space of 3 to 5 years and stayed low for 10 years, eventually all that food that's in stock will be used up. All those combine harvesters that make bread will not be running. there will be global economic unrest. There will be war. There will be further calorie kind of pressures on the planet. There will be hundreds of millions of people dying from famine, and I'm just looking at what the peak kilowatt is for solar panels, and basically how the U.S. would get off oil, and it looks like it would cost roughly, I don't know, like $15 trillion to build a solar panel array the size of 1/5 of their largest deserts. It's interesting in terms of the energy in a barrel of oil and the cost of a barrel of oil, and just some of my notes that I've been cut and pasting. You know, there's 5,700 million joules per barrel of oil, and solar panel, the same equivalent of solar panels, which is basically 1,900 square meters, cost at current prices roughly $200,000. But the thing is that that barrel of oil is used in a day, and the solar panels might last for 25 years. So as the global economic structure collapses and there's famine and war, the carbon footprint to build this array becomes bigger because of the drop off of crude production and scientists and all the stuff that goes towards the war effort. Basically, there's a certain window to fill the 15 terawatt daily energy gap that I'm trying to model. I'm trying to model how the world falls apart by looking at everything that's been talked about on TED.com and YouTube and published. But I'm also applying my biology kind of ecosystem kind of outlook on the world from science. So I'm trying to just get a more clear picture on what the economic pressures are. It's interesting. It's really, really interesting, and it's worrying. So I'm gonna have my rocket from Italy. I'm gonna finish it, thanks to quantum computation and 3 billion years of evolution. And what we need is a nanotechnology that can self-organize and be allowed to compete. And you make like a genetic algorithm to allow an artificial technology to evolve to get up to 80-90% efficiencies in solar panels with nanotech. And then we got to change the world economy in terms of information technology, everyone being accountable to their carbon footprint and their information footprint, and allowing people access to the internet and open sourced politics to mitigate, to nominalize geopolitical hotspots and cut out war and stop spending the $1 trillion on military expenditures for these countries, and really give people the power to open source with GitLab these political policies. It's almost like it'll almost be a social networked internet referendum, GitLab open sourced political system where this global array of solar panels is purposely built for the human condition. But as a result of that, maybe we got to wear a point of view camera technology that broadcasts to the central government, that the government then has the control to see the world from that point of view. So it's what I call a point of view sphere. And if everyone wore that technology and are accountable, then it becomes a way to police the world, because then people can't get away with crime. So what I'm describing is a different geopolitical landscape, and then people have free energy almost. There's less crime. You get paid for wearing the camera to be part of the system, and there's a global eugenic policy where you don't have 8 kids, but you have 2 kids. Everyone has what they want. Job done. World peace solved. No problems there. Oh, goodness.